Welcome to the Lazarus Pit. Hashtag nerds chatting. Thanks for tuning in.
Welcome everybody to Lazarus Pit Pod, special mini film review pod. My name is Nathan, with me is Ben.
Hello. That was wordy. That was very wordy.
I know, but it is wordy at the beginning. But anyway, so everyone from the Lazarus Pit Pod, minus Jack, has seen Batman vs Superman: Dawn of Justice at this point, and so it is time for us to stick a review on. Now, unfortunately, Ollie and Rob and Jack can't be here right now, so it's just Ben and myself. Yeah. Okay, we should probably now we're on video, so we can see each other's faces. This will just be an audio thing, but we're recording over Skype right now, so you might find that the audio quality is not quite as good as before. So apologies for that. But should we do spoilers or non-spoilers, or should we just throw it straight out there and do spoilers straight away, or what do you want to do?
Why don't we do the same as we did with the Star Wars Force Awakens review? We did about 2 or 3 minutes of non-spoilers.
Right.
And then we went bang straight into spoiler hard territory.
Right, fine, good. Okay, okay, first of all, let's do it. We'll do that. Yep, that's good. What about initial feelings? I mean, I've literally just come out of it. I mean, my showing finished about an hour ago. You saw it this morning, so
My showing finished like 7.5 hours ago. I liked it. I did not love it.
And I thought it was boring.
Yeah.
Slow.
One thing that kept on taking me almost out of the film was really quick cutting. Like they would go to one scene and they would talk about it a bit. Not going into specifics here because it's the non-spoiler part.
Yeah.
And then literally a minute and a half later they cut. And it was almost like that scene was just getting to something, and it would stop, and they'd go somewhere else.
And I agree with that. And there were a lot of storylines for what was essentially a basic plot. Not a particularly great plot, a very basic plot, yet a lot of storylines happening. And you're right, like, each scene wasn't fleshed out, and it wasn't a natural edit between each scene. Like, you go, here's this thing going over here, or something else completely different happening over here, so we'll go and look at that. Well, actually, I want the story to move seamlessly between the two, but I don't think it did.
No, but I did like it. I did like it. I think it has its flaws.
It's an hour and a half. It took an hour and a half to do anything, and then the thing it did do, it kind of dismissed the hour and a half's worth of build-up.
Yeah, I think it tried to do too much.
Yeah.
It tried to do way too much. It had an awful lot going on, and it didn't need as much going on as it did. One of Rob's points in the message, we should probably say, was that we've got our Lazarus Pit Pod message that we have on WhatsApp.
Yeah, we're all in there together, aren't we? Yeah.
We're all in there together. And Rob and Ollie have both come up with some really interesting thoughts, actually, which we'll go into probably in the spoiler territory.
Yeah.
But one of Rob's things was... oh, God, I've forgotten it. I forgot where I was going with that. I hate it when I do that. I hate it when I do
Don't worry.
that.
I'll edit this out.
Yeah, edit this bit out.
I won't.
No, oh, please do, because this makes me look so rubbish. Oh, God, I can't remember what it was. Oh.
I know, well, while you're looking for that on the phone, I'll just explain it. Rob definitely did enjoy it, although he has messaged me outside of just that group, believe it or not, and said...
Yeah, he has me as well.
He said he actually wasn't sure about it, and I think he did say that in our trail as well. I think he said to me it felt a bit off, and I would agree with that.
I've got what I had as well. I've got what he had. He said it felt like something was missing.
Yeah, there's something not quite.
But he wasn't quite sure what, but something felt like it was missing.
Right, I can't do this anymore without doing any spoilers. So if you haven't seen it yet, guys, get the hell off this channel and come back in later on when you've seen it, because we need to talk spoilers. I've got to say,
how far into it are we? How far into it?
We're a couple of minutes. we're probably fine. 3 or 4 minutes in. But
spoilers now. If you've not seen the film, turn it off. Yeah. Spoilers now.
Batman, right? Okay, he's probably the best Batman we've had so far, but this is a homicidal, psychopathic, deluded, crazy person. He's not a good guy.
he says that in the film, though. He says, "We're not good guys, Alfred. We're criminals. We've always been criminals."
I know, but like he's got all the guns. He's got all the guns in the world, and he kills people. Like he outright
does.
blows people up and drives into people and flips people around and chucks cars on people's heads, and like it was not right for me. As soon as he started doing stuff, I was like, "What are you doing? This is wrong."
At the same time, some of the stuff he did when he wasn't killing people was perfect.
Oh yeah, don't get me wrong. Like there was some cool, all the cool gadgets. Yeah, he was really like great fighter. He had the drive. I liked all I liked the little montage where he was working out and stuff. That was cool. He didn't really show off his detective skills. Okay,
No, he didn't.
Okay, so
really.
spoilers. He steals the LexCorp stuff from Lex's mainframe, which is in Lex's house next to the kitchen.
Yeah,
And it's
that was a
really
bit-
easy to steal. Like, he just wandered into the glass room, and then the bodyguard later on went, Mr. Wayne, I think you're in the wrong place. And he went, no, I'm alright. She went, oh, leave you to it. And walked off.
I know.
What is going on?
Yeah, that was a bit silly. Yeah,
Also, I'm going to rip it apart, Ben, so you're going to have to start defending it at some point. So,
it's okay. It's okay. I think my food might be here, so we may have to pause for a second.
Okay, are you sure?
I'm hearing car doors closing.
Okay, well, hold fire until... Okay.
Go ahead until someone knocks on the door.
So, what was the point in Wonder Woman in the entire movie? I don't really know why she was there. Because otherwise, the only woman in it would be Lois Lane. And I just don't know. She didn't progress the story at all. And her fight was all right. But,
Yeah.
I mean, we want to talk about the end fight a little bit. If we skip right to the end, it looked like a computer game to me. It looked so CGI. It just looked quite silly.
Well, I mean, yeah. This is the same reason that Man of Steel came out the year after it finished filming. It's the same thing with this. Man of Steel was due to come out in 2012, and it came out the year after, so they could CGI the fuck out of it.
I think it was the other round. I think it was 11, should have been, and it came out 12, I think.
Okay, whatever. And it was the same with this film. It was due to come out last year, and it came out in March this year because they CGI'd the fuck out of it. And elements of that were fine, but yes, I agree. The Doomsday at the end was just a CGI wank fest.
It was pointless as well. I mean, the amount of times that they said that the dialogue was, "Don't worry, it's uninhabited," or "the people have cleared out," so that they could do all the destruction porn that they had for Man of Steel, but not get told off for it this time.
Yes.
And
Yeah, that's a good point.
yeah, Doomsday was just, why was he 25 foot tall, whatever he was?
He was always bigger in the comic books, wasn't he?
Yeah,
but he wasn't
but if you look
quite
at
that big.
If you look at Death of Superman comic, which this heavily plays into, he's not like that. I mean, I like that eventually he did evolve into looking slightly different. The whole creation Doomsday, I don't understand. Lex just gets hold of the ship, and then it's like, here's Zod's body, here's my DNA, go make it. And the ship was like,
Yeah.
yes, Lex, I'll do that for you.
I didn't quite get what cutting his hand and mixing his DNA with Zod's DNA was. Why would that create Doomsday?
I don't know. And why would he have to cut his hand? Your DNA's on you all the time. He got into the pool, just put a bit of hair in it.
Yeah,
You know?
or a mouth swab.
Yeah,
you know?
I mean, it was stupid. And Lex in it was ridiculous. He was over the top completely. I think...
Hey, you look back at some of the pods we did when we were doing the trailer reviews of this.
Yeah.
I said ages ago I didn't think he seemed quite right. I thought he was a bit of a weird Lex Luthor.
Yeah, and he doesn't work. And I think that they've definitely got that get out clause where he's Lex Luthor Jr. and like they can pull out the Lex Luthor Sr. is actually around if they want it.
Ugh,
I know.
God.
And I'm going to say this now, and I really don't ever do this. I'm going to be totally hipster about it, but I called it on a pod months ago. Doomsday in a Superman movie means that Superman has to die. And spoilers, everyone, if you're still with us, I'm sorry, but Superman gets impaled in the chest and dies. I mean, he dies. There is no way around that. He's dead. Or is he?
No, he's not.
No, he's not. Obviously not.
Well, he is, but he's got some kind of Kryptonian power that makes him come back. Because
yeah, I mean, it was the scene. Yeah. It was like the scene from the end of X-Men 3 where you see Magneto slightly move the chess piece.
Yeah.
At the very end,
good analogy.
Yeah, you see the dirt rise off the coffin a little bit, don't you?
Yeah, like you did in Man of Steel, where he was just about to learn. He was learning to fly for the first time.
Yes, exactly. Yeah.
Okay. All right. We hated on it a bit.
Yeah. So we need to say some good stuff. I did like that Superman died, and that's very hard for me to say because obviously he's my favourite character. But I like that if you're going to put Doomsday in a movie, that fight has to end that way. They have to kill each other.
Yes.
What did you think about that stuff?
I completely agree with that plot point. If he's going to be in a movie, I do think he was a little bit wasted. I think if they'd explained it a little bit better about how he could come about and how he was created and things like that, they could have actually made a Man of Steel 2 out of just that. Yeah, because it feels to me that what they've done here is they've smashed so much in together because they're desperate to get their Justice League out there and competing with Marvel's Avengers and making all this money. If they just straight up made a Man of Steel 2 and made it with Doomsday, and all right, it probably would have still been a CGI crap fest. Yeah. But if they'd done that and had that and they killed each other in that way, and that was all there was. There wasn't any other Batman in this. There was none of Wonder Woman. They just made a straight up sequel to Man of Steel 2. I probably would have liked it a little bit better. Well, that's not to say I didn't like Batman. I didn't like Wonder Woman.
Let me build on that. I think your point there is perfect. That's exactly what it should have been. But I think it should have been World's Finest, which is where Batman and Superman are buddies and they work together. I think it shouldn't have been Batman versus Superman. It's a stupid title. It's a stupid setup. They've only done that because in the comics, whenever good guys team up, they fight at the beginning. It should have been Batman and Superman, and the versus bit should have been the first 10 minutes of the movie where they punch each other in the face and go, "Hang on, whoa. We're both good guys. Let's work together." And then they work together, and then it's Man of Steel 2 in the way that you just described, and Doomsday has to come about, and the whole plot should have been Lex figuring out Kryptonian technology and struggling with it and working to get it to work, and then right at the end of the second act, he should have gone light bulb moment, and I figured out how to do it, and then I can create this Doomsday thing. That should have been.
Or the end of the third act, maybe, so it's set up for the next film. Or
absolutely.
Something. I don't know. Yeah, I don't know.
But there should have been struggle with that because it wasn't. Lex was like, this is kryptonite. It'll kill Superman, so I want access to the ship. And they go, yeah, okay. And he walks into the ship, and within seconds, he figures out how to get into it and how to make it work.
Yeah. How did they figure out that it was going to be a deterrent? How did they figure out it was going to actually hurt him rather than just be a bit of shiny green space rock?
Well, they said that they tested it on the body.
Oh, that's true. Yes, they did. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. All right. That makes sense.
Yeah.
See, but I forgot that because there was so much other stuff that was going on. Yeah. That very sort of big part of the plot completely slipped away from me because there was so much going on. So much else going on. Okay. Listen, I've hated on this, but I need to say some things that I did like.
Okay.
I think it was the most tightly scripted. What's the word I'm looking for? Genesis of Batman there's been. The death of his parents. It was all just after the credit, or was in the credits basically, wasn't it? Yeah. That I liked. That was good. Got it out of the way very quickly. I'm glad it didn't keep on flashing back throughout the film like it did in Batman Begins. Got it out of the way. Done. Thank you. Goodbye.
There was a bit right at the beginning where I turned to Vic and said, "What?" Where the bats were raising him up, and then they go,
"Oh yes, me too, me too." But it was a dream. Yeah, that's okay.
It was a dream, but still, that was weird. That kind of set the tone for the rest of the movie for me. I was like, "Well, that was weird. Why did that happen?"
Yeah, I did. I was expecting at some point to see Alfred sort of, with a rope bringing him up, and I was like, "Okay, there's no rope. No, what's going on? The bats are flying him up."
Yeah.
Oh, it's a dream. Okay, fine. So there was that. I did like everything, I must say, everything to do with Batman, apart from him killing, which I'm never really okay with. Everything that Batman did, like when he was introduced, Rob said he'd heard it was going to be a straight up horror when he was introduced, when you first saw the Batman on the screen.
Yeah, that was good, yeah.
And it really was good. There was a little kid behind me, there was like a 5-year-old kid behind me who screamed when the Batman was introduced at the start of the film.
Do you know, that's a really interesting point. I know you've got a few more things you want to list, but just on
No,
that
that's fine.
point, there were a lot of kids in the screening with us, and I really don't think it's appropriate. I think it should be a 15 certificate at least, because there's some serious violence in that movie.
Yeah,
I mean,
it's very close.
I
Very
suppose
near the knuckle.
they've probably edited out the blood, because there are scenes where Superman kills a guy, just outright kills a guy, whether you show it or not. He flies a guy through a building. That's just a human. So that guy's been obliterated. That's right at the beginning. There's a lot of stabbing. There's a lot of violence. I mean, there's a hefty amount of violence. You see Bruce's parents get shot. I mean, Martha essentially gets shot in the face.
Yeah,
I mean,
nasty.
there's stuff that's not for kids in there.
Mm.
And I can see why that kid behind you would have screamed, because it was. Oh, there's a bit that bit where you first see Batman. Very well done, very terrifying.
Right, I need to ask a question. So one of the bits that I really, really liked was Bruce is having a dream, and it's the dream where he sees the Omega,
Omega
the
symbol,
dark
isn't it?
symbol,
Yeah.
the Omega symbol for dark side, and he's got the parademons, and he sort of wakes up from that dream, and then he sees Flash in the Speed Force,
It's my favourite bit of the film, that was.
which I loved. I loved that, but then he sort of woke up again from a dream.
See, now that we've had this is just before we start recording, Ollie said something to the chat about this, that I wonder if in Justice League there'll be some time travel elements and you'll see the Flash get caught in the Speed Force, and I wonder if that was a dream for Bruce because it's an aftershock, and actually Flash will go back in time again and make things happen slightly differently. So he will have travelled back in time a couple of times, and that's because he does say, "Am I too early? I'm too early. Oh no, I'm too early." I really
like that.
The reason that I loved it was it looked brilliant. The effects on it were amazing. The acting, that was like you really felt the sort of almost terror in Flash there. You didn't even know it was Flash. But then the trouble with that is it doesn't pay off later on in that movie. And that really annoyed me. I was waiting for that to come through at some point. I thought, well, okay, so I knew the Justice League were going to be were shoehorned into this movie, so I thought, well, what they'll do is they'll shoehorn in the Flash right at the end and say, not even explain it, just he'll zoom past and go, "I've got to tell you in the past," or "I've got to explain it to Lois," just something.
Marty, you've got to come back with me.
Yeah, that sort of thing, absolutely. But that would have been okay, you know? But actually, what they then did was just got a shoehorned in character, Wonder Woman, to look at other shoehorned in characters. And I'll tell you what, the bit with Aquaman was useless.
Yeah.
The pacing of it was bad. He wanders out the shadows, sits around for a bit, stares at you, and then does his stabby thing. Like, what? If you're just going to show him for a few seconds, then get him to do something. But
I liked the glowing eyes when he was in the dark. That was kind of cool.
yeah, but I don't know. That's just a style choice. It's just, I don't know. Do you know what I mean? It was. Yeah, so you're right, the Flash bit was great. I'll tell you another bit I really, really liked. It's weird because the bits we liked, or bits I liked, were few and far between and tiny. But the one bit that I thought was really good, when Lex has Martha and Supes puts his head up and his eyes are just almost exploding with power. He's like, where is she?
Yeah.
That was great, that bit. And that harks back to a bit in Man of Steel we spoke about in our commentary, where Zod is about to go for Martha, or he's got her in a chokehold maybe, and flies at her, just like, never touch my mother, you know, that sort of stuff. And that ties into that. But then so I'm going to carry on hating on it, Ben, I'm sorry.
Go.
That is the bit that I said I think undermines the first hour and a half. So the first hour and a half of the movie, you've got this big setup where Batman, even from the beginning, Batman or Bruce thinks badly of Superman, and he thinks he's the problem, and you know, it's built up with the media, and then you have that Senate hearing and the explosion in the Senate and all that stuff, and it's supposed to make you feel this reason for their fight. And then Lex goes, "Got your mum, go fight Batman," and that's the fight.
Yeah.
It's not for the reason that they've just spent the last hour and a half, because actually, when he dies, the whole world goes, "Oh yeah, we were wrong. He was great." I think the plot's completely wrong, and it's because of that thing you said. So much trying to be shoehorned in there. You've got Dark Knight Returns and Death of Superman trying to be smashed together, with Wonder Woman in it for some reason.
Yeah.
Any other thoughts?
Oh, I got lots. I sent like not a tirade. I sent like a list of things so that the group. So I've had a really long day, so I'm just trying to remind myself because I'm a bit tired.
That's all right.
I didn't think that Superman was given an awful lot to do in the film.
I agree. It would have been lovely to see him do more, and I hope
Yeah.
in the future he'll do more. I think he'll obviously come back in some way, but yeah, I agree.
It's given me hope for a Batman film because I think that he was the best part of the film. Not that I think he possibly should have been in a film because it should have been a straight up sequel to Man of Steel, giving Superman more to do, and keep Batman for a separate film and then bring them together. But
yeah.
anyway, I've said about the opening scene, which I thought was straight up a horror film. I loved that. And I think that Batfleck is probably the best Batman there has been on screen.
Probably, yeah.
Full stop.
It's just the destruction and death for me. It's just too much.
Yeah, one thing I'm hoping for in a future Batman film is that we'll possibly get an explanation for why he does that now.
Right.
And the fact that he probably didn't do that when he started, but now he does. And a reason why could be Jason Todd, Joker, maybe. I don't know. Who knows?
Yeah.
Who knows? Lex's motivation throughout the entire film.
What was it?
I have no idea what it was.
He's just nuts.
Yeah, and whiny.
Yeah.
And a control freak, and like a kid throwing his toys out the basket.
Yeah.
I just didn't get him. I didn't get what he wanted to do, why he wanted to do it.
And why does he have the sensor in his pocket like that? Why does she go over to his house to tell him that she's not blocking? You know, it's very odd.
And the thing is, as well, is when he unleashed Doomsday, what did he hope to achieve by doing that? Yeah, all right, he wanted to kill Superman and Batman, but yeah, I was going to say, after that, how was he going to control him? Because it couldn't be.
Well, actually, Superman saved Lex's life. He needed
exactly.
Lex's death,
yeah, because he didn't have control over him.
No.
He wanted to kill him. So it's like, well, what? Didn't get that. Didn't like that. I thought Wonder Woman was good. I thought that the bits she was in, apart from the bit when she was looking at the other Justice League members on the laptop, which was complete shoehorn.
Yeah.
I thought the bits when she was interacting with Bruce was okay, and when she was doing some of the action stuff, that was fine.
There was quite a few little nods and winks where you're like, she's looking at the sword, it's like, that's obviously her sword from the past or something. And then when Lex goes on stage and he's talking about philanthropists from the Greek, and then he talks about Zeus and Thunderbolts, she's like, okay, well that's Wonder Woman's history, so that was good. But anyway, sorry, you say, and then again.
I just again though, she was mostly shoehorned in to let's get her on the screen, and you know, the simple fact for me, and I've said this once or twice before, I'm going to say it again, the simple fact for me that Marvel have got a raccoon with more character development than the DC have got with Wonder Woman, even though she's been in the same amount of films as the raccoon. It's staggering to me. It really is.
Yeah.
I just think this has come too soon. This is the other bit that Rob said. He thinks this should have been maybe like the 4th or the 5th movie in the DCEU. There should have been Man of Steel 2. There should have been a Batman film. There should have been a Wonder Woman film. And then this. And then you could have gone from there.
Because it's almost a Justice League movie, but not.
Yeah.
It's
too soon.
There's so many that there's so many bits that it's almost a. You know, there's like. It just starts. I mean, it's a direct sequel to Man of Steel, but isn't. It won't admit that it is, but it is, because it doesn't have a beginning, middle, and end really. I mean, it just goes on and on and on. There's so many endings,
multiple endings,
as we knew there would be. But it doesn't even really begin. It just is like, Man of Steel happened, now we're in. And I know it's a sequel, but like it tried to do so much and failed a lot.
I really liked at the start, just after the Bruce's parents, after the title sequence of Bruce's parents died, I liked Bruce's point of view from the ending of Man of Steel. So he's in Metropolis, he's seeing all the destruction.
Yeah, that was
he's
quite
trying
good,
to save people. I did quite like that. I thought that was quite well done.
Yeah.
It just felt a bit too. I liked it, but it felt too forced for me, and I completely agree with Rob. It should have been like the fourth or the fifth film.
Yep.
They should have set up their characters a little bit more. And I think it was. I don't think it was a completely missed opportunity, but I do think that they've probably. This is not done as well as they hoped it would do, and it's probably going to change slightly, maybe not much, but it's probably going to slightly change what they do going forward.
Do you know what's interesting? I think you're right. I hope you're right. Reflecting on it, the bits that I liked were straight out the comic book, crazy, mad bits. And the more I think about it, the more bits I didn't like, it feels like studio involvement. Now, and that's always something we get as a get-out clause. But it feels like Warner Brothers said, Batman makes a lot of money. The next Superman movie you make, you put Batman in there.
Can't argue with that. Yeah.
And then they've said, we need to reboot Wonder Woman, because we're doing that. You better stick her in that movie as well. And then they've said, Justice League is coming. You put it in the title, and you put a little tidbit here and there like Marvel do. It's almost like their after credits scene was put in the middle of the movie. You know, because those bits with the Justice League that we saw, Cyborg, I mean, that was pointless. Why did we even get that Cyborg scene? None of that's explained. The Aquaman bit, those are the sort of things that you would have seen in a Marvel after credits scene, wouldn't you?
Yeah.
So it feels like this movie is a bunch of studio heads sitting together saying, you got to do this, 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 and this, and I don't care what the plot is, just get them in a movie.
Yeah, well, Marvel are 5 years ahead of them, so they've gone, we need to catch up. Let's do it in one film. Yeah. Bang.
And just like I say, the two bits that stand out in my mind that I really, really liked was Flash appearing from the Speed Force. It was so like quirky and comic booky and mad, and you didn't know what was going on, and the effects were amazing, and it was like, whoa, it was really intense, and that was great. And the bit where Superman dies and kills Doomsday, I thought was a little bit maybe too graphic, but like straight out of the comic. They kill each other at the same time, and he sacrificed himself, and you know, it's just a big moment. Really liked it,
they have taken The Dark Knight Returns and Superman Doomsday, or Death of Superman, whatever it is, and they've smashed them together.
Yeah.
And they've taken like the best bits out of that, plus some Justice League stuff, and made a film out of it.
Yeah.
I'm going to say two things here, okay? Whilst I liked the film, I didn't love the film. But the more I'm thinking about it, the more I'm thinking, did I like it as much as I thought I did? Yeah. I'm going to say two things. Goya, who did the script, David S. Goya, gone. Get rid of him.
Don't think he's gone though, is he?
He's got to go. He's got to go. He's done too much stuff. That Man of Steel was good, but it could have been better. And I think that when he does a script with someone who can develop plot, it's okay. When he does a script with someone who probably gives him a little bit too much rope, I think he hangs himself. And I think he's done that with this film. And the other thing as well, Zack Snyder directs action really well, and you know, all the action scenes in this film, you know, even the CGI crap fest at the end were quite good. But everything else, I don't think he's good enough to do.
Yeah.
I want a different director. I want to see a different writer, a different director.
Well, we're going to start getting that with...
Just to freshen it up.
Yeah, you're right. Yeah, with Wonder Woman, that's different. And then we're going to get... what are we getting after that? We're getting a Flash, and we're getting an Aquaman. So they're going to be different, but Justice League is the same. I've thought... so my sort of final thoughts, if you like, there's a couple of things we haven't mentioned. I did quite like the bit when Doomsday first appears... Superman's like, get him out of the city, and just flies him into space. I really did actually quite like that. Now, I didn't like the bit where they were just in the script addressing the fact there were no people around. But that bit for me was actually addressing that element of, look, I fought this guy before and it wrecked everything. Let's just get him into space. I liked that, and I liked Nuked Superman. That was straight from Dark Knight Returns, when he was all like shredded up and stuff. That was a bit freaky and cool from a superhero comic book fan, but maybe not so great from a non-comic book fan audience. I think Vic did turn to me and go, "Ooh, God, he looks weird." But my closing statement would be that I thought it was very slow. I went to the toilet twice and I got numb bum. And normally, and I sat in the same seats that I always sit in the cinema that I always go to, Oakhampton, Merlin Cinemas. They're great. The guys there are fantastic. Lloyd, the manager, shout out to you. They're good guys. So it's not that the cinema is any problem or anything like that. I literally just thought to myself, I can have a break now, quite happily. And when I came back, turned to Vic and said, what happened? She explained it, carried on with the movie. Hour and a half at the beginning that had no bearing on the rest of the movie.
Okay. I like I said, I want Snyder and I want Goya to be give him a back seat.
Yep.
Maybe give him some like executive producer roles. That's fine. But I want new actors. What am I on about? I want new directors or new writers for the Justice League.
Yep.
I know it's Snyder doing it. I think he should be politely and gracefully let go and say, thanks for all your efforts, you've made this world for us, but we're going to go a different way now. And I want a tighter script. I want a script that
Absolutely.
focuses on a story and everything around that story, not one bit over here and another bit over here and another bit over there.
Figure out your plot, and then figure out your plot A, B, C, your first 3 acts, and then build character around that if need be.
Yeah.
So this is you've hit onto a really good point. Segue. Future. What do we think's going to happen in the future? Because Superman's been killed off, but they've got plans, right? We know they've got plans because Wonder Woman is filming now. It's coming out. Aquaman is going to be filming. They're filming Justice League now. And all the Justice League promotional stuff has got Superman on the front and centre of it. Now, have they done that because they didn't want to spoil Dawn of Justice? Because surely, if they did Justice League stuff and they didn't show the big S, then you've spoiled the death. But what do you think is going to happen? Will Supes come back for Justice League? Will he come back right at the end? Will he come back at part 2? Will he not be in it for a while? What do you reckon?
That's a lot of questions. I think he's probably going to come back at the end of Justice League Part 1?
Because we're led to believe that Darkseid is coming because Batman had a nightmare which had the Omega symbol, which wherever those nightmares come from, that's meant to lean towards the future, and Lex for some reason somehow knows that someone is coming, so we're led to believe it's Darkseid.
Yeah, Rob and Ollie seem to think that's because he seemed to figure out the Kryptonian ship and knows all about it, and that's explained everything to him.
Oh, that's true. He figured that out in 5 minutes.
So it's told him about Darkseid. Yeah 5 minutes of a Kryptonian ship is all you need to know about Darkseid.
Eye rolling. So we think Darkseid's coming down. The Justice League are going to be formed because Batman and Wonder Woman are going to go look for them. So we know that's happening.
Yeah.
So are they going to be fully formed at the beginning of the Justice League movie, considering this was Dawn of Justice, or do you think that Darkseid will come down and will have to come together? Do you think it'll be an alliance that's not strong because they'll be against each other's odds, maybe?
Oh man, I don't know. It's tinfoil hat time, isn't it? Really?
It is a little bit, yeah.
I hope they're not fully formed when the movie starts because I want to see them. I want to see them bring them in. I want to see them struggle to adapt to it being a team.
Because otherwise, you get an Age of Ultron scenario, which is my problem with Age of Ultron. Is it starts they're all together, and it ends they're all together, and there's no struggle throughout the movie for the characterization. Okay,
well that's massively wrong, but we'll get into that another time. Otherwise, you get the same thing with this. You get them all smashed. They're all smashed together already. You don't know how that's happened, and they just go on from there. It's like you're rushing it too much. For the love of God, I know Marvel is not everyone's cup of tea, and I know Rob says every film is the same, but they have hit onto a winning formula. We said this in the car you're doing. We're going to get comics. I don't want DC to do the same thing as Marvel. I want them to do their own thing. But for God's sake, take your time doing it. Don't rush, because where are you going to go? Where are you going to go after Justice League 2? Where are you going to go?
Well, I don't know. But if Suicide Squad isn't good, then the DC universe in terms of films is doomed.
Which is such a shame.
It is a shame.
Batman's great.
Yeah, and Superman's a great character, and Wonder Woman's a great character, and Green Lantern's a great character, and Flash. The Flash movie, I'm really looking forward to, because I love the TV series. The character's fantastic. I hope they do some time travel stuff in there. They've got enough time in a movie to do time travel stuff. Speed Force does crazy stuff like that. We've just seen it in Dawn of Justice, so hopefully we will. Don't know.
Okay, I've given it. I'm going to give it 3 out of 5. I'm maybe being generous. I may skip that to 2.5 out of 5.
Yeah.
But for now, I'm going to keep it at 3 out of 5.
Yeah, mine goes down to 2 out of 5, I'm afraid.
2 out of 5.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, hey, that's our opinion.
Yes.
We want to hear what your opinion of the film is. So
Please let us know, please.
yeah, let us know. Tweet to us. Hit us up on Facebook or Instagram, or I think you can even comment on this on Podbean, for the love of God, which is amazing, which I haven't even realised. We'll probably talk about this in next week's YouTube video as well. No, not next week, because you're away for forever now, aren't
I'm
you?
off for a couple of weeks, so we'll probably be back in a couple of weeks' time with some more content. But
Yes.
I think, Ben, you're going to be playing with stuff maybe a little bit
Oh,
while
I'm going to
away.
be doing. There's going to be. We've got a competition coming up. There's going to be a video coming out at some point next week for a little competition to win some nerdy goodness. You'll see some of those winnings, what things you could win in the video next week. So yeah, just stay tuned. I'll be around. It's just Nate who's going away to. I don't know, some foreign country or another to do something with his girlfriend.
Somewhere in Europe. It's holiday time. Woo!
Whatever. Yeah. But yeah, so hit us up on facebook.com/LazPitPod or twitter.com/The Lazarus Pit Pod, or you can find us in all those places, or just search for The Lazarus Pit Pod on Google or YouTube and you'll find us.
Or Bing, whatever.
Or Bing. You could use Bing if you're, weird.
Microsoftly challenged.
Microsoftly challenged. That's good. I like that. Okay.
All right. Thanks very much for listening, everybody. And please do let us know what you thought of that. And we'll speak to you when we're back on next. Bye.
Excellent. Bye, guys. Bye-bye.
Bye. Bye.